Hello, Veronika.
Hello, Alman.
How are you? Long time no see, huh?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you today?
Well, after work, maybe a little bit tired, but it's always nice to see old friend.
Yeah, I can imagine, working many hours today. Yeah, but I'm happy to see you as well. Thanks for the invitation to your podcast.
Well, it's a pleasure of mine. See, you've been doing a lot of interesting stuff. That's why I decided to invite you. Ironically, last time I met you, it was a little before pandemic started. Was it January or maybe February? I remember we were in Andel area and having beers.
Ah, that's true in Angel, yeah. So it will be more than 2 years already. I didn't see you for a very long time.
Yeah, we were like online, keeping in touch, but then you left us. You left the company that I worked.
Exactly. But we still have many topics in common, and we need to do the photo shooting together as well, which I promised to you, and it never happened.
Definitely.
But it will happen in the future for sure.
Well, first I wanted to give you my treat, and then yeah, weather also should get right. I mean, I don't want to. I like to be maybe in a sporty clothes, and in Prague, January, I wouldn't want to do that with this minus and the snow and ugly weather. Maybe let's wait for like a couple of more months.
Yeah.
The sun will visit us more. In these crazy days, old friend, how have you been doing? I'm even afraid to ask. How are you keeping sane, or are you sane?
That's a very difficult question, to be honest. It depends on the point of view. But in general, yeah, I would say it's difficult for everybody on this planet to be sane, because we get a pandemic for more than 2 years. Now there is a conflict in the world as well. And the winter is long, and I'm more a summer person, and this lack of sunshine, I would call it, it's a little bit stressing me out. But I'm planning to escape from Czechia again in few days. So this is basically my tactic to stay sane, as you call it. I'm just planning the trips for the future, and that's it. Otherwise, I wouldn't survive.
That sounds very interesting. You traveled a lot, and now may I ask where you're traveling now?
Yeah, I'm going in 4 days. I'm going to Egypt just for vacation. I've never been there. I've never seen Luxor before. So I want to add it to my portfolio for the photography. And just the day after I will come back, I'm going to Denmark for the photo shoot as well. I met a client in Copenhagen, and I'm doing the photo shooting for them for their studio and for like couples session. So it will be difficult 14 days, but I love it. So that's why I left, right?
Yeah, I mean that's now I'm thinking that I should have interviewed you now and then keep the rights of it, and then maybe I should have a photo shooting with you before you become very rich and very famous, because then later on you will not answer me on Instagram because you will have a person who is taking care of your Instagram. You will not return my calls because you will have a secretary who's then bohužel dneska nemá čas.
No, it's not true. I remember the friends who stayed with me, when I was down. So I will remember you were here for me all the time. So I don't have selective memory. I remember all the stuff that happened. So you can count on me all the time.
Okay, good. Let's go back to this travel point, because this is one of my passions. And if I somehow imagine, of course, now after COVID, the way that the job that I am doing, or let's say the things that I'm trying to learn, the project management, the coaching, let's be honest, right? It's going to be obvious to everyone that you can, yeah, maybe 100% face to face, let's say, effect is not going to be possible, but majority, if they could, let's say, how they put it in the corporate world, like 75%, they're going to cut down the travels. But if you would ask me, I would travel every week, maybe even to Brno and come back, but still I would travel. I have a passion for this, and I'm actually happy that one of my friends gets to travel a lot, because we even have a saying in Azerbaijan. We say that the one who travels would know more than the one who studies, because you get to see in a first hand. Tell me about your big travel passion, and then take us through your this crazy travels that, like why Veronika left the company, because she's gonna travel the world. I was like, yeah, tell me about that. 6 months later, she will come back from Johnson and Johnson with another manager of another invoicing department.
Well, that's a very interesting question. I don't even know where to start because it all started when I was very young, and I think it's coming more from the passion for the photography. Because when I was 15 years old, I went to London for 1 week for the language exchange program, and I got my first camera in that time as well. And I was just totally excited and totally passionate, or it's not even passionate. I was crazy about photography, and that's why I wanted to travel. So I wanted to go to every places to take the picture there and then show it to other people who couldn't travel. And it's just stayed with me. Now my main business is photography plus traveling, and it just changed in the way that I love to take pictures of everything, not only the photography. And then I like to meet people on my travels as well. So I still combine it, but I know now what are the differences between travel and photography. Before it was for me altogether. Now I can separate it, so it makes a difference for me.
So you found somehow, okay, I'm learning, I'm gonna sound maybe boring now, right? So I'm all about productivity tools now, self-development. So you found how to kind of balance your work and life, I would say. It's too much cliche, I apologize for that, but still like you manage to have fun while you travel and also at certain point work also because you do the photography. Did
Yeah,
I understand it right?
yeah, exactly. Because I think if you work through your hobby, you never work actually. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to make my dreams come true, to focus more on my hobbies and then make money from it. Because if I would do just the job to make money, I'm just wasting my time. Everybody has limited time on this planet, and if you spend your precious time in the work you don't actually want to do, and then you have only 2 days in the week during the weekend for your dreams and for your hobbies, I don't think it's enough.
Like I'm doing now, you mean? I'm doing my
I
passion.
don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
No, I meant the podcast. I mean, come on.
Exactly. I
I meant
think
the podcast. Like, after hours, it's dark outside and it's cold, so we just sit, like we could have had a beer, right? It's like Czech Republic. Everywhere you can find, every corner you can find a great beer. But, we just decided, okay,
no.
let's just
I
sit
think
and talk about.
sorry, I didn't want to mean it in this way, because I
You
think
can.
you have amazing hobbies, and even that you are doing this podcast is just perfect. So
Yeah.
thank
No,
you
I
for
love it.
that.
I love it. No, thank you. I mean, that's why I kind of invited you, right? It's like it's because kind of one passion that somehow intersects with another one. So it's like, okay, why not? The next topic, again, we're somehow circling around this you being or not being crazy. Well, what I remember there was a girl. Her name was Veronika. For somehow, I think, okay, I started in 2018 January. Somehow you were related in some of the meetings, and then you had, I think you were in some trainings together. You were training us on some, I don't know, like some topic. Then I remember that you got promoted, and then you had a team, and then everything was going up all the way like you expect. And then by my count, I was supposed to see you somewhere, maybe as an associate director or maybe even more, having a bigger team somewhere. But then during the pandemic, I hear from someone that Veronika quit the job and she's going to travel the world. I was like, yeah, tell me about that. Probably it's COVID or her, I don't know, hormones. Sorry. But here we are.
Yeah, so it happened actually, exactly like you described. This is what happened. I joined the company 1 year before you, and after 1 year being here, I was promoted to the manager, and I loved my job. I just loved the company. I love the team, and I still love my team. We are still in touch even after 1 year. But somewhere inside me, I just wanted to travel because I felt that I need to have like 0 year or some time for myself, that I will take the backpack, I will take my camera, and I will just disappear. So this happened. I left 28th of February, and 1st of March 2021, I was flying to Mexico, where I spent 5 months. I was living in the Mayan family. I was studying Spanish, taking photos, and yeah, it just happened. And to be honest, I never regret this decision. It's true that it seems crazy, but I know that I could do it now when I don't have family, I don't have mortgage, and in the future it will not be possible to do it. So, just go for it. If you have dreams like this, I think we should chase it and we should go for it and not just postpone it, because one day you will want, but you will not be able to do it.
That's crazy because this is like almost kind of the year that I also had some sort of a, how would I say it, self-reflective time that I went looked back, had met some of my friends and started discussing what I can do. That's where I came up with this passion of me finding a love in self-development industry with all of these interviews because I loved it, the marketing side of it, talking, communicating with people. I remember in the university, I used to love those social classes, but somehow I was afraid that what if I move to Europe and I cannot find a job? What if I don't get to travel to Europe? Of course, okay, let's be honest, all right? So it's really difficult if you come from a non-European
Yes.
country. So you need to have like make some decision that is gonna get you some cash and get you to Europe. But now at 34 years old, I said, and ironically, it also became in the COVID. So COVID doesn't always have negative sides, right? Maybe you agree with me. Then I was like, okay, it's the time. Now it's the time, just like you, to realize my dreams. I started doing this, right, even before the beginning. I don't know what is the step called before the beginning, but that's why I totally understand you. That's why I wanted to hear about you, your friend, what you did, your passion was interesting to me. I invited you here, so okay, let's talk about it. Of course, I fully support you. I think it is a very good decision that you did because, like you said, time is passing, and at the moment where you don't have a lot of responsibilities, I think it is one of the best decisions. I'm actually jealous, you know.
Well, actually, the problem is that many people are leaving for traveling or basically to fulfilling their dreams after university. But I was working a part time when I was in the uni, and then I just started to build my career as well because I just wanted to have everything. I wanted to travel, I wanted to have career, and I just wanted to be successful. But then I realized that okay, now I have the career, but I didn't have much time for myself, for traveling, and for really trying to step on my own legs because I was in the corporate business and it was a little bit different when you're working for the company and they are giving you the job and the salary, or you work for yourself and you are responsible for really building your business. So I wanted to try, and this is the try. I'm out of the corporate for 1 year and still alive, so I think it's a good sign actually.
Good, good. I fully support, fully support. I'm not promoting anything or, like I'm not giving a social message. You should leave the corporate. I'm still in my corporate job and I still love the sides of it. But, I think I can have like a little bit of your crazy passion and a little bit of the quiet side of you, like the corporate job, and then mixing both of them together. I take your, let's say, the inspiration on this travel and I kind of apply it to my free time. The
Mhm.
time that after these 8 hours, okay, you got like 8 hours to sleep, you got 8 hours to work, and then the other 8 hours, the other one third part that I'm trying to do my passion now. Good. So I really love it. Like in the previous question, I talked about the travel. Whenever that word is it's probably one of the sexiest word, isn't it? It's like a buzzword. It's always going to be there. Travel vlog, travel blog, travel talk. It's always going to be there, right? What is this drive? I mean, what I know a lot of people. I mean, Czech Republic, same as in Azerbaijan, was long, long years we were part of communism, right? We were not allowed to
Mhm.
travel. And then, is it that, do you think, that made us so hungry for traveling? Now I see a lot of like a Czech young kids, they also travel, but and then there is another group that they are still afraid to travel.
Mhm.
So what do you think?
Well, I think it's first the human nature that we are basically used to travel, even from the history. I don't think we are born to stay on one place or to do only one job in your life because I think we are good to do more things, to see more places, and just to decide. And I think it's also kind of education for you. If you can travel, you can see the cultures. It gives you self-confidence because you are able to take care about yourself. But if you will stay in one place, it's never leaving your comfort zone. So for me, traveling is also that I get to know myself more. I'm building my self confidence because sometimes I get into situations which were not very pleasant during my travels, and I need to handle it somehow. So then I'm just happy to be out of the situation and to have the memories. But I think it's really the people seek for the adventure and they just want to experience the life and they want to meet people and just to find out if there is something better than their hometown, you know. The saying is that the grass is always greener. Maybe that's my case as well. And in like 5 years after traveling, I will come back to Prague and I will be okay. I love my home country and my home city, but now
Take me to Morava.
yeah, I love Moravia still. So yeah, but maybe it will come. Maybe I will just see everything what is on my bucket list, and then I will come back to Prague, and I will be happy to have one plus KK here, and just go back to the corporate business. I'm not saying it's impossible, but in this moment, I think there is something else what is waiting for me.
Let's see if the prices go continue going up this much in 5 years. I don't think you will afford 1 kk, or let's say maybe there will not be any place to build any more 1 kks, and we're gonna go to these the Asian style, these tall buildings. Chinese now, okay.
Well, I can still live in the car. That's one of my dreams as well. Just to live in the car and
the caravan.
In the caravan or the
Okay.
one. It's called One Life now on Instagram. It's official hashtag. It's One Life.
One Life. All right. Because you know that the corporates, they also have like a shower rooms. Majority of us, you can shower there too.
Yes.
That sounds about right. Yeah, why not?
If it makes you happy, why not to do it?
You open the topic. Some situations, some things that happening in the travel. Tell us something that you can tell interesting, weird, educative, whatever. It's my podcast and your time.
Well, there were some situations which were dangerous, which were not so dangerous, and which were just funny in that moment. But for example, in the recent year, when I was in Mexico, we were snorkeling with my sister on the reef, basically, and there was a shark below us, So just the moment that you have to stay calm, you cannot freak because you're in the water, so you could drown, or the shark can kill you. So it was one of the situations which were dangerous, but now I'm just happy to have it in my life because I can tell people that this happened. I saw the shark in the sea, and
was that a baby shark?
Oh, it was like 2.5 meters. No, it was actually the big one, but he was sleeping, or she, I don't know.
Okay.
It was sleeping because we were there in the middle of the day, and our guide told us that they are basically hunting in the morning and in the evening. So during the noon, we are fine. So this was one of the stories, for example.
Wow.
And then in Guatemala, we were followed by a guy who were following us for like 2.5 kilometers to our hostel. And you don't know what to do because in Guatemala, the police doesn't work. They are usually working with narcos. So you have no place where you can call. And it was difficult as well in that time because I got all the stuff with me, all the backpacks, all the cameras, iPad, and my sister as well. And then you just go to the garage where is the security guy with a gun, and you're just talking to him or to some other people on the street that, hey, there's a guy, he's following me, I need your help, with the Spanish knowledge on the level like A1, maybe less, so, like you basically know 5 words and you need to save your life. So, but still, it happened, I'm still alive. And
oh, good. Is he following you on Instagram now, or?
This guy? No? He just put me in the city, so...
Maybe it was your follower. He just took it to another, like virtual to real level. No.
Building the fan base.
Yeah. Hashtag Veronika.
Yeah, but then they told us that it wasn't so dangerous. It was probably just our feeling because the city we were in was actually pretty safe. But if you are in the night in the middle of the city, you don't know, and you have all the backpacks with you, and there's a guy who is going behind you, you just don't feel safe. And it's just a good story now. Nothing happened. It's just a good story.
It makes you stronger. It's almost like like a driving. And then when you said about the fear of driving, like you have a feeling like a car follows you sometimes. I'm a new driver. Maybe I have paranoia sometimes. You're driving and it's like, what is this guy? Or it's a cliche move from the movies, right? And you see that someone is driving, and it just somehow reminded me that. And when you said about the shark. We went to, of course, I was lucky enough to travel to Africa and one of our trips. And then we were like, okay, should we go to this safari? And then we went to this safari. One of our MSD employees, she actually offered us, and we went to safari. And then, well, they have this big four, the lion, and then I don't know, I don't even remember all of them. Okay, I know that elephants were there, and then we saw the elephants, and that they don't walk alone, so they have a group. We saw them, and then they said, okay, lion, we're doing the travel during the day. Probably you will not see the lion because, well, it's a day. And then out of nowhere, there's this guy. Lucky, I mean, the guy. I even have a picture. Like, I mean, she was taking a picture with a professional camera. That the guy is walking. Probably his belly is full because they eat for, like, like a kind of, they spare. And he was walking around and taking a sunbathe, walking around, and then he went. I think he marked his territory, and then I confused which one. The one with that has a hair, I think, is the female one, and then we were coming back. There was this male one, and they were so, let's say, passive, not passive, I would say lazy, that we could open the window, which is not allowed. But come on, we are like two MSD employees from Czech Republic came there and first time see the lion within less than 1 meter distance. We lowered the window and took a selfie with the lion, and then we moved up because when it was the ever you're going to see safari. But yeah, that. So I remember that, like you didn't want to move, but we were like, okay, our lion was like, okay, fine, you tourists, okay, take a picture with me. Yeah.
Well, I hope you get health insurance, for cases like this.
I don't know. I need to call VZP actually. So let's see if they have a lion insurance, because it's funny because in Africa you're allowed to have a baboon insurance. The thing is that baboons don't have enough food. So they learned that people have food. So if you carry anything, they let you know. Like there are some tours around Cape Town. They tell you, okay, please do not carry anything in the plastic bags because baboons already know that they have it. They're going to come and steal. Plus, if you live in the area that is around the forest, they give you baboon insurance because when you leave, baboons will come, break the doors or window, get in, steal your food and run away. So
interesting. I didn't know this one.
Me neither. We just have been told. So said, okay, no snacks. Don't take snacks with you. Maybe, I don't know. Now, back to business. Okay, you left your lucrative, I would say, corporate job. Okay, let's be honest, right? I mean, the company that you worked for, the pays are okay, at least in the Prague level. That's what I've heard. Now what? The government is taking care of you, or are you doing something aside? How do you, if I may ask, what do you do for a living?
Well, so the government doesn't take care of me anymore, but it did before for some time, because I was working, I was paying the taxes, so I just use it. Let's be honest here, we have very good system in the Czech Republic, so you can officially use the support from the government, so why not to do it? And in this moment, I'm building my business as a photographer. I did some weddings last year already. I did some portraits and some business portraits as well. So if you'll be interested, I can take some business photo for you. I did it for my best friend, and he's now using it for the interviews and for the CVs. So
wow.
Yeah, we can do it. But yeah, I'm still following the dreams, and between my dreams still belong to take the photography, to travel the world, and to do some workshops or the vernissage about my photography. So it happened in March as well. I got my first vernissage from Mexico and Guatemala. It was in Kolín, which is a small city near to Prague. And in the future, I want to develop my skills as the photographer and just to focus more on the wedding or even destination wedding business.
Destination wedding. Wow. Yeah, I've heard because, well, I think it was before pandemics that Turkey was one of the most commonly used wedding destination by the Indians, which is a bit for us, we would say the other way around. People would want to go to India, but like somehow they were coming to Turkey too. But I think it is like one of those cliche scenes from the movies, right?
I think it's for the Turkey is Cappadocia, no, with the hot air balloons.
Yeah. That has some picturesque view, but I'm like more like a nature guy, and then that hot balloon is not my, or like majority of the times like ocean, like I mean
Mm-hmm.
sea and ocean. This is sunset in the sea. That's my
Yeah.
fetish when it comes to photography.
But it's the same for me, because I was born in Prague, so for me it's casual here.
Hmm.
And when people or tourists come to Prague, they love it. And for me, it's like, yeah, yeah, I live here for 30 years, just have a look and we can go to the next city. So maybe you have the same with Turkey or with Azerbaijan or this area because
Yeah,
you know it better.
yeah,
And then,
somehow I don't understand. Like, okay, but of course, okay, let's be honest. Huh? Turkey has like a very like amazing picturesque places. But for me, like from India to come there, it was like okay, fine, fine, because like they could choose basically anywhere, like with the sea. But of course, the nature is amazing, and well, I'm like more like a Mediterranean sea
mhm.
guy, so I go to Antalya a lot. That's my favorite city in Turkey. In photography, what is your, let's say, what do you like to take a picture of most?
It's difficult to say. It depends on the situation, but I love to take photos which have some story in it. So then if I go back to the pictures or to the event I was taking photos for, I can basically go back to the energy. So my favorites are usually couples or couple sessions and the weddings because then when you see some moment from the wedding, you can basically go back to the energy, you just have the memories back. And I just love to give people the impression that they have awesome day. They will have it forever because they have the photos from it. So I don't even know how to explain. But basically, if there is a story behind the photo, that's something what I love to do or what I like to shot or to take. And if you ask about the style, I don't like the style shoots. I'm more into a reportage. So the people don't know I'm shooting because then if they know that I'm taking photos of them, they will not behave naturally. So you don't get the emotions into the photo. So for me it's the best to basically be part of the environment. People don't take me as a photographer but as a host on the party or the host on the wedding as well. And then from the moment to moment I just do a photo for them. And then when they see it back, they don't even know that I was doing the photography for them.
That one I love. That one I love actually because it's very funny. We go to some park and I ask my wife to take pictures of me, and then let's say in 5 6 of them I pose, and then also she takes some pictures. For example, I go, there's an apple tree, so I'll go to apple tree and pick up the apple. There's like a cherry. There's a good view there, and then she takes a picture. And at the end, my profile pictures or the pictures that I share on Instagram or somewhere becomes the ones that she spontaneously took.
Yes, exactly.
I love those more because somehow there is an emotion, there is a moment that maybe I pose bad, okay, like with 160 height and then average Middle East look. Maybe it is something wrong with me or what my posing, but the others, I mean, I like these action photos more.
Hmm.
So I totally
Yeah.
understand you.
It's not about you would be bad. It's about that you are trying. You are trying to be somebody you are not. If I should
Okay. Yeah,
say it
yeah, yeah. No,
correctly in
I get it. I
English,
get it. I
you
get it.
know,
Of course, it's not like a
because
natural way of,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. If you don't pretend to have more natural smile, you have more natural poses, natural moves. But if you know about the camera, you're just trying to be stable, to smile, just to move your back somehow, so you will look different than you actually do. So it can
Okay,
be the difference
nah,
as well.
I kind of already gathered the ideas that if we're gonna have this, not if, hopefully we're gonna
We
have this
will.
photo
Yes.
shooting. I will, what should I do? So I will be like, yeah.
Well, it's very easy. We can make you do some poses as well, but we will have normal conversation. And
Hmm.
between the conversations, I will take the photos. So we
Perfect.
can we
That's
can talk about some topic. We can talk about some jokes. And in the moment you will smile, I will take the shot. And that's the moment that you will like
that I'm pretty sure about that. Well, what can I say? I was thinking like going back and forth in my head. Should I write her about her, like ask her, about her these travels and all? Should I ever tell her my crazy dreams of a podcast with her? And I was playing so many scenarios in my head. I was like, okay, yeah, last time I met her, like, okay, it was 2 years ago. It was before COVID. COVID happened to us, all of us. So, what is she going to think of me? And I was quite surprised that for both of the things, for the shooting and for the podcast, you said yes. And like you were very welcoming and you were even like creative. You were getting creative and offering something. I was like, really? Why don't I do it more? So I'm
exactly.
really, really thankful for you that you visited us, me today. And with this new device, it's my first one. So hopefully it's going to work well. What can I say? Would you like to say anything to wrap up the whole thing?
Well, just to wrap it up, it's actually the thing, because the people, they don't think that they can approach people. They are scared to do it, or they don't believe in themselves. But once you do it, you just keep the doors open, and then people are coming to your life, the moments are coming to your life, and everything is opening. So I think this can be the wrap up for our session. That whoever will listen to this podcast, just stay open, and yeah, just say yes to the opportunities, because if you just block yourself, nothing will happen, and that's the worst, when nothing will happen.
I get to learn a very fresh and a lot of new inspirative things about my old friend. Of course, there was this COVID in between, so we were only watching and following each other through social media. I'm actually sad that I didn't do it earlier, but anyways, I guess the time is right. I wish you a very good luck with all of your travels. I want to see your more, how do you call it, collages, and more, maybe even movie, maybe even a book, storybook, anything that you're gonna do, because I'm all about travel, all about new things, new cultures. And then let me also work on myself and my podcast and my content, and I'm sure that our roads will cross somewhere again. You never know where, what country, what time, but I would be more than happy to talk to you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much as well. And I hope that you will invite me to your podcast once you are famous as well.
Or we will be like just like an average celebrities, right? I will be a podcaster, you will be a
Yeah.
photographer, and we're gonna shit about each other on Instagram.
Yeah. We will get our assistants, to get a meeting for us.
Yeah, and then we'll only be like doing like shit news about each other. Oh, that photographer, I don't like her. That podcaster, that's a douchebag.
No, I
Hopefully
hope
not.
we will stay connected. So thank you very
Sure.
much for the invitation, and good luck with your future projects as well.
Thank you. Same about you. Thank you.